What would you think about a farmer who didn't prepare his ground, didn't sow any seed, didn't do any work in his fields, but then when the time for harvest came around on the calendar, he went out to his fields and expected to reap a massive harvest? Crazy, right? Well, before we talk about the importance of how much you plant, welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and help them get to know Him and His Word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and also share this with a friend. So grab a cup, lift it up, and let's talk about how to get a great harvest. Well, back to the farmer who didn't plant a thing or do a thing, but expected to reap a massive harvest. You and I both know what you'd think because we'd think exactly the same thing. And if that farmer hired us to be his consultants and help him identify why he had no harvest, our job would be pretty easy. We'd just tell the farmer, if you sow nothing, you're going to reap nothing. You can't reap when you don't sow. Farming doesn't work that way. Ever. Well, actually, nothing works that way. Paul the Apostle had a very clear lesson for us as it relates to sowing and reaping. He wrote it in 2 Corinthians 9, if you'd like to read it. Here's part of what he wrote. Remember this. Whoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly. But whoever sows generously will also reap generously. How's your sowing going? If you've not made a decision to give your time, your talent, and your treasure into the kingdom of God, the inevitable result is that you're not going to reap any harvest from it. Now, as in any other relationship, we don't give only to get. That's immature and utterly selfish, and it's wrong. But there are laws that govern nature and relationships. And the law of sowing and reaping is one of them. Are you concerned that you may not have enough if you give into the kingdom of Christ? No need to be. In that same chapter of the Bible, Paul continued on and said, now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and increase your store of seed. He'll enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. You'll be enriched in every way so you can be generous on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. The reason many people are struggling with their finances is because they're not giving anything to God. When you're faithful to Him, He's faithful to reward your generosity. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not an appeal for you to give us money. I really don't care if you give to the CEC Church or to some other worthy Christian ministry. But friend, you are robbing yourself of the blessing of seeing the fruit of your labors multiplied if you don't sow into some ministry somewhere. Your generous giving is supposed to result in thanksgiving to God. Well, Paul made it clear that God's able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all you need, you'll abound in every good work. That's what happens when you sow faithfully, frequently, and cheerfully. I've seen it in my own life. So has everyone I've ever spoken about learning how to be faithful in giving. I can testify that When I've been faithful to give to God's kingdom, He's been faithful to see that my needs are met. And continues to give me more and more, so I've got more to give. Sowing and reaping. Sowing and reaping. In farming and in life, the rules are the same. If you're not faithfully sowing, you should start. You should start today. Because whatever one sows, that's what they also reap. We've used up all the time we've got today, but before you go, would you help me introduce Jesus to the people who've never known Him? They need to get to know Him. They need to know His Word. Please like this video. Really does help more people see it. Click follow or subscribe so you and I can get together every day. Just click the link in the description if you'd like a free copy of my book, Count to One, and I'll get it right into your inbox. Hey, one more thing. Share this video with a friend, would you? Because as you do, you're part of the team, touching hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping.